Chapter 61, One Dead and One Seriously Injured, Is the Protector a Saint? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Under the scrutiny of countless powerful figures, a remarkable individual emerged. He was dressed in robes whiter than snow, his presence radiating natural grace. With each step, he seemed to draw in the warm sunlight and gentle breeze, causing his hair to sway. His demeanor was relaxed, as if he were returning from a casual stroll. The subtle smile playing on his lips captivated everyone present. Tang Chen, that the protectors were more baffled than ever. Before entering the Kunlun secret realm, every disciple had seen Tang Chen as a rival, eager to surpass him. What was happening now? They were showing him deference, barely daring to breathe. Tang Chen sensed the gazes of these powerful men. His expression remained serene, acknowledging them with a brief glance before moving on. He recognized their seniority, but paid them no mind. After Tang Chen emerged from the Kunlun secret realm, Qin Wuxia, Luo Yuheng, and others followed. Only then did the other disciples dare to exit. Their faces flushed with embarrassment. These were the leading disciples from various powerful factions, renowned for their status and talent, yet they stood there like attendants, respectfully welcoming Tang Chen. If word of this got out, they would not only lose face, but their respective factions would become a laughingstock. Xuanhuan, what happened in the Kunlun secret realm? One disciple asked a member of his own faction. Xuanhuan immediately recounted the events that had transpired. This drew the attention of many other disciples. Soon, everyone was listening intently. When they heard about the grey mist within the Kunlun secret realm, their faces paled. It became clear why so many young disciples had fled. The situation was far more perilous than they'd imagined. Xuanhuan paused briefly, then continued his narration. The protectors listened without interruption. When they heard that Kunlun Zhen had been resurrected, their eyes widened and their hearts pounded. But when they learned that Tang Chen had slain Kunlun Zhen with a single sword, the young disciples recoiled in disbelief, staring at Tang Chen with stunned expressions. And when they discovered that Tang Chen had acquired the Kunlun ancient mirror and all the cultivation resources within, the protectors could no longer contain themselves. He cut down a true spirit with a sword. This kid actually killed Kunlun's true spirit. The Kunlun ancient mirror is an immortal artifact, and all the cultivation resources within were hidden by Kunlun's true spirit. Are you telling me all of that belongs to Tang Chen now? Impossible. Tang Chen shows no signs of injury, and his aura is incredibly strong. How could he have survived a life-or-death battle? Wait, how did Tang Chen's cultivation reach the return to one realm, and at the 6th level? The protectors' hearts raced faster and faster. Eventually, they felt a sense of suffocation. Tang Chen's actions were simply unbelievable. Any one of these accomplishments would have been enough to cause shock and awe. It was inconceivable that he had achieved all of them. As the protectors considered this, they glanced at the disciples they were responsible for, a hint of distaste creeping into their eyes. They were all prodigies. But how could there be such a vast disparity? Their own charges seemed decent enough on ordinary days, but when compared to Tang Chen, they looked increasingly inferior. Elsewhere in the area, a tall, muscular man with a massive iron staff strapped to his back was frantically searching for the person he was meant to protect. Finally, the burly man grabbed a passing disciple and demanded, "Where's Yaochi? Why hasn't he left the Kunlun secret realm yet?" This burly man was Qi Tiezhen, Yang Qing's protector. The disciple recognized Qi Tiezhen and immediately stammered in fear, Yang Qing is dead. Killed, by Tang Chen. Qi Tiezhen's eyes widened. By coincidence, Ting Tianjin, clad in grey robes, learned of Ao Jiuxiao's demise in the distance. Both Shen masters simultaneously locked their gazes on Tang Chen. Overwhelming pressure descended from the sky, silencing the previously bustling area. The younger protectors understood the reason and wore solemn expressions. Tang Chen had killed Yang Qing and Ao Jiuxiao. Ting Tianjin and Qi Tiezhen would never let that go, especially since the Blood Battle Cave and the Wu-Tu ancient kingdom were already at odds with the Xianjian cave. Old grudges combined with this new blood made for a volatile situation. Tang Chen, your arrogance knows no bounds. Yang Qing was a leading disciple of the Blood Battle Cave, a student of my master. Killing him is unacceptable. You killed the 7th prince of my Wu-Tu ancient kingdom, and now you've killed the 3rd. What is this, a killing spree? Qi Tiezhen and Ting Tianzhen advanced on Tang Chen simultaneously. They were consumed by rage, murderous intent emanated from their very beings. I don't see a problem here. If there is a problem, it's that they were too weak. Tang Chen replied calmly, unfazed by the pressure from the two Zhen masters. How dare you? Insolent, that the two Zhen masters were incensed. Tang Chen's words shattered their composure, unleashing a wave of murderous intent. Are you two going to attack me? Tang Chen asked with a smile laced with sarcasm. The two before him were true realm cultivators, so technically they were capable of attacking, but to do so would clearly be a violation of protocol. What if I do attack you? What can you possibly do to stop me? Ting Tianzhen roared. He genuinely wanted to kill Tang Chen. It was terrifying to imagine how much Tang Chen had progressed in just a few months. If he were allowed to continue growing, it would surely spell disaster for the Wu-Tu ancient kingdom. Tang Chen immediately sensed Ting Tianzhen's murderous intent. Instinctively, he prepared a sword seal, but before he could be crushed, a beam of sword light descended from the heavens. The sword light was incredibly fast, none of the protectors present noticed it. By the time they reacted, the sword light had already struck Ting Tianzhen's head, cleaving him in two. Blood gushed forth. Staining the sky crimson, a powerful figure had fallen. Everyone's heart pounded in their chest. May I ask which senior has intervened? Qi Tiezhen retreated in terror, clutching the massive iron staff on his back, but his question was answered by another flash of sword light. Poof, star. The massive iron staff in Qi Tiezhen's hand shattered. At the same time, his right arm was severed. The excruciating pain contorted his face, yet he dared not scream or even groan. Instead, he said respectfully, "Thank you, senior, for sparing me." "Get lost." A hoarse voice echoed throughout the area. The sound waves materialized, striking Qi Tiezhen's body like a violent storm, sending him flying, smashing through over a dozen distant mountain peaks before being buried in the rubble. Witnessing this, everyone was speechless. Tang Chen's protection was truly terrifying. Two true masters, one dead and one severely injured, and in the end, no one could even find a trace of their protector. Could it be that Tang Chen's protector is a powerful sage? This terrifying thought crossed countless minds. Chapter 62. A scene recorded in history. Feiyu Daozi is unyielding. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Of course, there were saints among the powerful figures present. However, these supreme beings usually remained in seclusion. Unless something major happened, they wouldn't show their faces. Tang Chen's protector effortlessly killed Ting Tianzhen and seriously wounded Qi Tiezhen. Only a saint could pull that off. Everyone was shocked at first, but they quickly calmed down. Given the strength and potential Tang Chen had displayed, he was destined to break free from the limitations of this era. Protecting a genius like that with a saint as a bodyguard was perfectly reasonable. I can't believe the saints of Xianjian Grotto Heaven have been secretly watching over us. No wonder the headmaster didn't mention a protector when I left. Qin Wuxia exclaimed excitedly. In the past, Xianjian Grotto Heaven always assigned a protector to disciples going out for training, so he'd been surprised that no one mentioned it this time. He'd initially thought Xianjian Grotto Heaven was so focused on Tang Chen that they'd overlooked everyone else. Now he realized he'd been way off. Oh, you poor guy. You really weren't thinking too much. Seeing Qin Wuxia's excitement, Tang Chen hesitated to burst his bubble. The truth was that Blood Sword Master had forgotten to assign him a protector, but that was too embarrassing, and it would only hurt Qin Wuxia and the others' feelings, so Tang Chen kept quiet. As for the protector's power, Tang Chen was unfazed. He glanced at the sword seal in his hand. Sword seal contains the full force of a sword cultivator at the lesser saint level. The mysterious protector had given him this sword seal specifically before he entered the Kunlun secret realm. From that moment on, Tang Chen knew his protector was a saint, so none of this came as a surprise. In the void, the protectors exchanged glances, preparing to slip away unnoticed. Many of them had also considered trying to take advantage of Tang Chen, but what just happened served as a serious wake-up call. One by one, they abandoned the idea. Hold it right there. Suddenly, the raspy voice sounded again, sneering. You all know what went down in the Kunlun secret realm. If it weren't for Tang Chen from Xianjian Grotto Heaven, I'm afraid all the Taoists and Tianjiao here would have perished. Aren't you going to say anything? After the voice faded, Everyone looked sheepish. Tang Chen's actions in the Kunlun secret realm were primarily for his own benefit. Saving the Tianjiao and Taoists was just a happy coincidence. The raspy voice was really stretching things. Besides, Tang Chen had taken all the treasures for himself, now they were supposed to thank him. What kind of nonsense was that? What's the matter? Don't feel like it. The raspy voice suddenly turned icy. Instantly, everyone's heart skipped a beat. It was like an invisible sword hung over their heads, ready to strike at any moment. Jianxing Valley would like to thank Junior Master Xianjian Grotto Heaven for saving us. It's a debt we can't repay. Please accept our gratitude. A real person protector stepped forward. On behalf of Jianxing Valley, he bowed to Tang Chen. Yeah, I know. Tang Chen shrugged, completely nonchalant. The real person protector's face twitched. He was offering a sincere apology and even a bow on behalf of his whole valley, and that's how Tang Chen responded. Could this guy be any more arrogant? You've said your thanks, now get lost. The raspy voice sensed the real person's displeasure and immediately roared. The next moment, the real person flew backward, smashing through several mountains before falling silent. The remaining protectors were terrified. What domineering words and actions! He'd been smacked away and coughed up blood for simply showing a little dissatisfaction. After that display, everyone else behaved much better. They lined up and bowed to Tang Chen one by one, offering their thanks. It was a truly ridiculous sight. Hundreds of powerful real person experts from various factions were lined up neatly, expressing their sincere gratitude. None of them dared to show any resentment. The onlookers couldn't believe their eyes. Some even recorded the scene, which was destined to be a historical moment. It took a full 15 minutes. These real person powerhouses finally finished their forced thank yous. After that, they didn't dare to linger and bolted from the scene as fast as they could. The whole thing was way too embarrassing. Staying even one more second was torture. I'm not helping you build up your reputation here. I just couldn't stand those disgusting people anymore. The raspy voice echoed in Tang Chen's mind. Got it. Tang Chen nodded slightly. Daoist priest Chunyang had warned him that the protector had a peculiar temper, so Tang Chen didn't take it personally. Yen Buku would like to thank the junior master for saving me. But at that moment, a hearty voice rang out. The speaker was a handsome young man in a crescent-shaped robe, with sharp eyebrows and bright eyes. He seemed quite uninhibited. Yen Buku was a Daoist disciple from the Feiyu sect. He was also the chief disciple. Tang Chen recalled what he knew about this guy and said calmly, "No need to thank me." He scanned the crowd but didn't see Yen Buku's protector. That was unusual, which meant Yen Buku came alone. I heard about this guy before entering the Kunlun secret realm, but after entering, he vanished. And I don't remember seeing him when I left. Why is he showing up now? Tang Chen frowned. Based on his memory, that didn't add up. In fact, his memory of Yen Buki was vague. I've got things to do. I won't bother you any longer, junior uncle. I invite you to visit Feiyu sect sometime to discuss the Tao. Yen Buku flashed a warm smile, then, he transformed into a beam of light and quickly disappeared. Watching Yen Buku leave, Tang Chen activated his golden eyes. Yen Buku, Daozi of Feiyu sect. Tang Chen was stunned. The golden eyes couldn't detect specific information. That was a first. With my current level of cultivation, I can detect even saint-level beings. So, either Yen Bai is more powerful than a saint, or he has an immortal artifact that's blocking my detection. Looks like this guy's got a serious background. Tang Chen narrowed his eyes and secretly filed away the name Yen Buku. No. I'm not going back. The truth is, I'm Tang Chen's Daoist partner now. I'm staying by his side, no matter what. If you don't believe me, ask him. A clear, arrogant voice called out. Tang Chen frowned, and 3 black lines appeared on his forehead. The author has something to say. A new day has begun again. Comrades who clock in, please go this way. Chapter 63. Perhaps this is what a man is like, heading west. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 63. Maybe he's the one, headed west. Tang Chen turned to leave, but a beautiful woman rushed over and grabbed his arm. Honey. Luo Buheng looked at Tang Chen with a flirtatious gaze, and said softly, "Tell them what we did back in Yengu City." Her voice trailed off, her head dipping down in mock shyness. The suggestive scene left everyone speechless, practically frozen in place. Wait, I remember hearing Tang Chen kidnapped Luo Buheng. Nah, I heard Luo Buheng threw herself at him. So, Tang Chen and Luo Buheng have been alone for a while. Think they became a couple. That the crowd erupted in speculation. Looks wise, Luo Buheng was even hotter than Yi Qingru. Her only flaw was being a little flat-chested, otherwise, she would definitely be crowned the most beautiful woman in the East Wilderness. Plus, Luo Buheng was the Taiyin saint. She was also a top talent in the East Wilderness, the dream woman of countless young men. The Taiyin saint hooking up with Xianjian Cave's junior master uncle. Now that was a juicy story. Greetings, junior master uncle of Xianjian Cave. A group of over 10 figures landed in front of Tang Chen. Leading them was an old woman in a black robe, radiating a powerful aura. She was a true powerhouse, reaching the peak of true strength. After bowing, she stared at him with her cloudy eyes, asking in a serious tone, "Forgive me for asking, but what the saint said, is it true?" Those who were about to leave stopped dead in their tracks. Tens of thousands of eyes focused on Tang Chen in the vast space. "Sweetheart, just tell them." Luo Buheng looked up at Tang Chen, her big, puppy dog eyes flashing with desperation. "Okay." Tang Chen nodded firmly, then said to the old woman, "It's all a lie. When I first arrived in Yangwu City, the Taiyin saint approached me, wanting me to pretend to be her Taoist partner to escape the Taiyin Cave's pursuit. Now that you're finally here, I'm truly relieved. Please take the Taiyin saint back to the Taiyin Cave and keep a close watch on her. Better yet, take back all her holy artifacts so she can't disguise herself at will." With that, Tang Chen gently pushed Luo Buheng towards the old woman. He considerately used his spiritual power to immobilize Luo Buheng, ensuring a smooth delivery. The whole thing took only a few seconds. The crowd, eager to witness the drama, was left stunned. The plot twist was too much to handle. For a moment, it defied belief. So that's the truth. That explains why Tang Chen had heard about his supposed relationship with Luo Heng before he even arrived in Yangwu City. Xianjian Cave's junior master uncle is a true gentleman, a role model for us all. After a brief silence, praise erupted. These voices came from the young men. Of course, in their eyes, Tang Chen already had Yi Qingru and Yi Rushue. If he also conquered Luo Heng, their dream woman would be gone. Luckily, Tang Chen saved them. "Tang Chen, you're heartless." Luo Heng realized she'd been betrayed. Like a feisty little tiger, she roared at Tang Chen, "I'll never forget this." "You just wait." Thankfully, Tang Chen had blocked Luo Heng's movements beforehand, otherwise, she would have jumped him and scratched his eyes out. "Senior, I've delivered her safely. Please head back now." Tang Chen ignored the raging Luo Heng and said to the old woman in the black robe. The old woman snapped out of her daze and bowed. "Thank you, junior master uncle of Xianjian Cave." Clearly, she hadn't expected things to go so smoothly, but after glancing at Yi Qingru and Yi Rushue, the old woman seemed to understand. She sighed inwardly, "Maybe, he's the one." With that, the old woman led Luo Heng away. The entire Taiyin Cave contingent disappeared. "Aren't you worried Luo Heng will come after you now?" Yi Rushue approached him with a smile. After waking up from her coma, she had taken a lot of medicine, which had mostly restored her strength, but there was still a trace of weakness in her eyes. "If I didn't do this, Luo Buheng would cause trouble for me anyway." Tang Chen said indifferently. Luo Buheng was a wildcat, unruly and unpredictable. If she stayed by his side, Tang Chen would never have a moment's peace. Sending her back to Taiyin Cave was undoubtedly the best solution. "You're not afraid to fight even those with true strength. Why would you be afraid of a little girl?" Yi Rushue giggled, covering her mouth. The charming picture of her floral dress immediately stunned many, and the desire within them uncontrollably rose. With a woman like that, what more could a man ask for? For a moment, countless people had this thought. They envied Tang Chen. "You're looking for me because you want to talk, right?" Tang Chen cut to the chase, asking Yi Rushue directly. He noticed the Yaochi cave guardian staring at him. He looked like he was afraid Tang Chen would leave. Yi Rushue dropped her seductive act and said seriously, "When we were in the Kunlun secret vault, due to the urgency of the situation, I gave you the Mei Dao Yin. Now that the crisis is over, please come with me to Yaochi cave to remove it. Tang Chen was stunned. It turned out the Mei Dao Yin was only a temporary loan, not a gift. Tang Chen had misunderstood. Yi Rushua saw through Tang Chen's thoughts and smiled wryly. The Mei Dao Yin is the source of the Mei Dao body. If it is separated from the body for too long, the Mei Dao body will disappear. The situation was too urgent before, and I didn't have time to explain in detail. Tang Chen nodded to show his understanding. Indeed, the situation had been dangerous then. If Yi Rushua had tried to explain, it would only have wasted time. When do we leave? Tang Chen asked Yi Rushua. The charm of the Taoist Yin belonged to Yi Rushua. Tang Chen wouldn't ignore it. Plus, without the help of the charm of the Taoist Yin, it would be difficult for Tang Chen to cut through the evil spirits with his strength alone. The sooner, the better. Yi Rushua's eyes lit up, and she said repeatedly, Yaochi cave isn't far from Qingzhou. You only need to head west for thousands of miles to reach the edge of the sect. The flying spirit boat will take us only a few miles to reach Yaochi mountain. All the way to the west. Tang Chen caught those words immediately. A faint smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. Yaochi cave, a huge sect with only female disciples. Well, what a good all the way to the west. Chapter 64, Wan Huachun's heart is moved, and the heart of Tao is condensed by a strange combin. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Seeing Yi Rushua's eagerness, Tang Chen skipped any talk of resting and headed straight for Yaochi cave. Before they left, Tang Chen handed over all the secret Kunlun cultivation resources to Qin Wuxia, asking him to take them back to Xianjian cave. Tang Chen didn't need those resources himself. He figured it'd be easier for Xianjian cave to sort things out. Plus, bringing some gifts back to Xianjian cave would make ancestor Xuanhuan happy. Make sure you hand this jade slip to the ancestor, and nobody peeks at it in the meantime, Tang Chen instructed, giving the slip to Qin Wuxia. It contained information about evil spirits and the blood-devouring evil emperor. Tang Chen had a feeling this was a big deal, so he wanted to give ancestor Xuanhuan a heads up. Xuanhuan had lived through 2 eras. Maybe he knew some secrets. This was also part of Tang Chen's prep for Kunlun Fairy Mountain. Qin Wuxia nodded, stowing away the jade slip. After saying their goodbyes, Tang Chen boarded the Yaochi cave sky-crossing spirit boat and set off west. While Tang Chen traveled to Yaochi cave, news of the Kunlun Secrets incident spread like wildfire across the eastern wasteland, causing a major stir. Tang Chen's only been cultivating for a short time, yet he can kill a real person with a sword. Unbelievable. Okay, the corpse of the Kunlun master wasn't as strong as it used to be, but it was still comparable to a master. That guy is a monster. Now, other geniuses in the eastern wasteland can't even compete with him. I've got a feeling Tang Chen's gonna break the shackles of the immortal era soon. Countless people marveled at Tang Chen's rapid progress. At the same time, they were getting excited. The immortal era had left no immortals in the Xuanhuan world. If Tang Chen could break through, it could kick off a cultivation boom in the Xuanhuan realm, benefiting everyone. Of course, not everyone was thrilled. Tang Chen, you dare kill my blood battle Dongtian Daozi? I'll never let you get away with this. The path of cultivation demands unwavering resolve. I've decided to make Tang Chen my rival and use this as motivation to break through my own limitations. The blood battle cave isn't afraid of a fight. Yang Qing's death and Akatetsugin's serious injury had hit the blood battle cave hard, and everyone there was itching for a showdown. The 7th prince is dead, the 3rd prince fell tragically, both without even a bone left. When did our ancient Wutu kingdom ever suffer such an insult? Let's start a war. We can't let Xianjian Dongtian keep running wild. What's wrong with you, Gua? Somebody, quick, come here. The Wutu ancient kingdom was in chaos. Shortly after, news broke that the king of Wutu ancient kingdom had again vomited blood and passed out. Wutu soon became a laughing stock. The entire eastern wasteland was buzzing about Tang Chen. The talk was about his strength, his speed, his hidden cards, and his enemies, except for one place. Yaochi cave heaven was focused on something else entirely. I heard that the young master from Xianjian Dongtian is super hot, like, the hottest guy in Xuanhuan realm. Is he really that good looking? I saw Tang Chen's portrait once. Just one glance, and I couldn't sleep that night. And I heard the portrait only captured, like, a third of his hotness. I can't even imagine what he's really like. I heard that senior sister Yi kissed Tang Chen. I can't let her win. I have to outdo her. Xiaoqing, go get my shirt. Yeah, the red one, the one with the least amount of fabric. Xiaohong, take this neon dress and cut it up. Like, all the way down the back, and halfway down the front. The cooler, the better. I heard Tang Chen took on Yi Qingru as a sword attendant. Yi Qingru's got that whole cold and distant thing going on. Does Tang Chen like that type? I gotta study up so I can get an edge. Little sister, what are you doing out of seclusion? Didn't you say you were going to stay in there until you hit the realm of real people? Senior sister, why are you out of seclusion? Didn't you say you were dedicating yourself to cultivation and never getting mixed up in worldly stuff again? Tang Chen's trip to Yaochi cave had turned the whole place upside down. For a few days, every rouge shop within 300 miles of Yaochi Lingshan sold out. Tailor shops within 500 miles were working overtime to alter clothes. And every high-level official who had previously announced their seclusion suddenly decided to make an exception and come out. No one knew why. There were even rumors that Baihua Zhenren, the master of Yaochi Dongtian, was seen personally buying tons of rouge, paints, and silk ribbons, and when she was buying it, she was blushing like a girl in love. It was like a kid falling into a candy store. 3 days later, Tang Chen arrived at Manhua City. Yaochi Lingshan was just up ahead. Tang Chen was in a great mood, thanks to both Yi Ruxue and the beautiful mountain scenery. Besides adventures and fighting, traveling through mountains and rivers is a great experience. That's why so many powerful people just want to chill in the mountains and not deal with the world. Tang Chen cleared his head and let his mind wander. Bang! A muffled sound that only Tang Chen could hear went off. He felt the presence of his Dao Heart, slowly solidifying. When all things become one, that's when the Dao Heart condenses. I didn't expect I'd stumble upon it like this. Now, as long as my cultivation realm catches up, I can step right into the Grandmaster realm. Tang Chen didn't get too excited, he just smiled faintly. Cultivation had always been easy for him, the Grandmaster realm was no big deal. Good thing nobody was around to hear him, or they'd probably be spitting blood out of sheer rage. Being a Grandmaster was a big deal in the Eastern Wasteland cultivation world. They had a lot of say in any sect. Tang Chen was probably the only one in the entire Xuanhuan realm who could act so calm about it. Yaochi cave heavens up ahead, Yi Ruxue said, giving him a meaningful look. Ready? Tang Chen was confused. Ready for what? Weren't they just going to return the Tianmei Daoyin pill? Why did it feel like she was about to eat him alive? Chapter 65 Large-Scale Star-Chasing Scene, The 7 Golden Flowers of Yaochi. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The spirit boat zipped through the mountains, then, the Yaochi peak appeared. Tang Chen now understood what Yi Ruxue meant. Looking around, the Yaochi peak seemed like an ancient mountain connecting heaven and earth. It wasn't steep, but gentle and inviting. The whole place was bursting with flowers, like a vibrant tapestry, a perpetual spring. Magnificent palaces stood, resembling a real-life fairy tale. This asterisk was it. Underneath the Yaochi peak, a huge crowd of Yaochi cave disciples had gathered. They lined the road on both sides, standing in neat rows. Hanging above them were ink portraits. The subject of the portraits, none other than Tang Chen. Younger disciples even held up signs. The signs read, Tang Chen. The sheer scale of the swaying portraits and signs was quite a sight. A meet and greet? Was this a massive fan event? The word star-chasing popped into Tang Chen's head. He never thought he'd see anything like it. The sky-crossing spirit boat is here. It's senior sister Yes. Where's Tang Chen? Where is he? Honey, you're finally back. As the spirit boat approached, the waiting Yaochi cave disciples erupted in excitement. All order and rationality went out the window. They surged forward, rushing toward the sky-crossing spirit boat. I see him. He's so handsome. I can't believe someone this gorgeous exists. His eyes, his eyebrows, his lips, he's the perfect man. I'm so jealous of senior sister Yi for getting to kiss Tang Chen. I'd trade 30 years of my life for that. Sweetheart, do you remember me? I'm your wife. Hey. Stop pushing. And girls, wipe your mouths. You're drooling on my hair. I'm done for, help me. That the Yaochi cave disciples were losing it, some were stunned, some were going wild, some were swooning, and some were just plain dizzy. One young disciple even fell from mid-air and got trampled, looking miserable. But even they were smiling, their faces flushed, their hearts racing, completely captivated by Tang Chen's looks. So, this is how they do things at Yaochi cave. Tang Chen gave a wry smile. These were cultivators, supposedly seeking enlightenment. But their eyes were bloodshot, like hungry wolves, a bit of an exaggeration. Sure, Tang Chen had faced arrogant Taoists and even Master Kunlun, corrupted by evil, without flinching, but this? This gave him the creeps. It's usually not like this. This is all for you. Yi Rushua grinned, she touched her lips, *, these junior sisters are so naive. Standing on the sidelines and shouting. You gotta be proactive, like me. Otherwise, you'll never get a kiss from the male fairy. At the edge of the spirit boat, Yi Qingru wasn't standing next to Tang Chen. Surprisingly, she was hugging Tunten, whispering, Tunten, if any other woman gets near my junior uncle, do whatever it takes. Snarl at them so they don't even think about it. Tunten tilted its head, confused. Yi Qingru added, I'll reward you with tons of spiritual materials. Tunten's eyes lit up. It puffed out its chest. The skycrossing spirit boat finally landed. Tang Chen, Yi Qingru, and the others disembarked to see Master Baihua and a group of Yaochi cave leaders waiting. Greetings, Master Baihua. Tang Chen bowed. Master Baihua was wearing a brocade robe, a phoenix hairpin, and a colorful shawl. Her makeup was flawless, enhancing her mature beauty. No need to be so formal, Tang. Master Baihua helped Tang Chen up, giving him the once-over. Last time I saw him, I was struck by his presence. Now he's even more refined. Should have brought him to Yaochi cave long ago. Tang Chen had no idea what she was thinking. All he knew was that Master Baihua was staring at him, unblinking. Didn't expect to see all the senior disciples out of seclusion. Yi Rushua said, noticing the awkwardness. Master Baihua snapped back to reality, a little embarrassed. She recovered quickly, turning, she pointed at 5 Yaochi disciples. These are my disciples, Beigong Lian, Han Yinshi, Xiaoyou, Mu Yushuang, and Zhou Moyan. The 5 women gracefully stepped forward and bowed to Tang Chen. We're all cultivators. No need for such formality. Tang Chen replied. He was impressed. The 5 Yaochi disciples were gorgeous. Beigong Lian was gentle, Han Yinshi was poised and graceful, Xiaoyou was young and cute, Mu Yushuang was cold as ice. Zhou Moyan was as calming as a spring breeze, not to mention Yi Rushua's beauty. The 6 great disciples of Yaochi, more like the 6 golden flowers of Yaochi, each unique and lovely, and Baihua Zhenren added elegance and maturity, 7 golden flowers. Tang, you must be tired from your travels. Normally, you'd rest, but the Mei Dao Yin Dan issue can't wait. Please, follow us to Yaochi. Yi Rushua had told Master Baihua about the Mei Dao Yin Dan before they left Kunlun. Master Baihua got straight to the point. Tang Chen nodded. He came to Yaochi cave to return the Mei Dao Yin pill. After all, they stepped onto Yaochi peak. The crazy fans were blocked from entering. Only Yi Qingru, Tunten, Baihua Zhenren, and the 6 great disciples accompanied him. Things got quieter. The Yaochi lake is at the top of the peak. It's the heart of Yaochi cave and a forbidden area. I assume you know that, Tang, Master Baihua said suddenly. Of course, Tang Chen replied. Master Baihua's tone changed. Did you know that Yaochi used to belong to a Kunlun immortal? Only then was Yaochi cave founded. Tang Chen's eyes narrowed. He could tell that Master Baihua emphasized Kunlun immortal. A nearby guardian narrowed his eyes. Chapter 66. A deal is done, you will know in a moment. You are listening at novelfull.audio. I'm not so sure about this. Tang Chen, regaining his composure, spoke calmly. He was secretly gripping the sword seal. ready to strike without hesitation if Baihua showed any hostile intent. It wasn't just Tang Chen, the guardian, lurking in the shadows, was also poised to intervene. Sword intent flowed freely from his aged eyes. Everyone in the eastern wasteland knew that Tang Chen, the sole victor of the Kunlun secret treasure, had not only gained vast resources but also the Kunlun ancient mirror. So when Baihua Zhenren suddenly mentioned Kunlun Fairy Mountain, that it was hard for Tang Chen not to be suspicious. "Friend Tang, I mean no harm," Baihua Zhenren said softly, sensing Tang Chen's caution. "As I mentioned, Yaochi Cave's foundation lies in Yaochi itself, and much of its martial arts and training methods originate from there. You're likely aware that with the rise of the immortal age, things related to immortals are gradually disappearing, and Yaochi isn't immune. I learned from ancient texts that the Kunlun ancient mirror, a true immortal artifact, also came from Kunlun Fairy Mountain. Therefore, I'd like to temporarily borrow the Kunlun ancient mirror to see if it resonates with Yaochi, and possibly slow its depletion." Tang Chen nodded thoughtfully. Both the Kunlun ancient mirror and Yaochi originated from Kunlun Fairy Mountain. The resonance between them seemed logical. However, Tang Chen didn't immediately agree. Instead, he asked, if the Kunlun ancient mirror is so vital, why was Yu Rushua the only one sent to the Kunlun secret collection? Tang Chen remembered Yu Rushua mentioning that Yaochi Cave sent only her due to specific reasons. He hadn't given it much thought at the time, but according to Baihua Zhenren, the Kunlun ancient mirror might be crucial in delaying Yaochi's depletion, and Yaochi was the cornerstone of Yaochi Cave. Any pressing matter in Yaochi Cave should have taken precedence. Sending only Yu Rushua seemed impossible. Tang Chen's question caused a shift in the expressions of Baihua Zhenren and the Yaochi elders, especially Yu Rushua, whose face twitched noticeably. Finally, Baihua Zhenren sighed. "I have no comment on that matter, and I hope you can forgive my reticence." Immediately after, Baihua Zhenren added, "Rest assured, friend Tang, our temporary borrowing of the Kunlun ancient mirror isn't without compensation. We offer a sincere incentive. If you agree to lend us the Kunlun ancient mirror, Yaochi Cave pledges to become an ally of Xianjian Cave, regardless of whether it ultimately slows Yaochi's depletion. We will advance and retreat together, never betraying or abandoning the alliance." Baihua Zhenren stepped back and bowed. The other Yaochi leaders followed suit. "That's quite the offer," Tang Chen murmured. Among the 6 major caves, Yaochi Cave was of middling strength, and historically, it had been constantly at odds with others. An alliance between Xianjian Cave and Yaochi Cave would bring tangible benefits to Xianjian Cave. After all, Xianjian Cave had plenty of enemies. "I killed Ao Hongchen and Ao Shao, further escalating the conflict between the Wutu Ancient Kingdom and Xianjian Cave. War could erupt at any moment. I'll eventually be stirring things up at Xinquan Lingshan, so we won't be allies in the future. Having Yaochi Cave as an ally would be entirely advantageous." Tang Chen began to feel intrigued, but he still didn't respond immediately. Glancing towards the distant void, he was seeking the Guardian's opinion. Almost instantly, a raspy voice echoed in his mind, "Accept it." Tang Chen nodded inwardly and then told Baihua Zhenren, "I agree to this deal." "Thank you, Tang." Baihua Zhenren was elated. The Yaochi elders laughed with relief. "Let's strike while the iron is hot and head to Yaochi." Baihua was visibly impatient. With that, she enveloped everyone in her spiritual energy and sped straight towards the summit of Yaochi Lingshan Mountain. Soon, Yaochi was in sight. It was an incredibly vast lake, its water a turquoise hue, resembling the sky. Wisps of colorful light drifted above it. Even with a breeze, the lake's surface and the colorful halo remained undisturbed, like a strange jadeite, inlaid atop Yaochi Lingshan Mountain. "It's so mysterious," Tang Chen exclaimed genuinely. He could feel faint traces of immortality within Yaochi. The longer he looked, the more insignificant he felt. At the same time, Tang Chen noticed a slight resonance between the Kunlun Fairy Mountain Key and the Kunlun Ancient Mirror. Even the species in the world were whispering. The secret key and the ancient mirror are both tied to Kunlun Fairy Mountain, so the resonance is natural, but what does it have to do with the species of the world? Tang Chen wondered. Before he could ponder further, Baihua Zhenren's voice broke through. "The process of extracting the Mei Daoyin pill is straightforward. You two must jump into Yao Pond and sit cross-legged, with your hands touching throughout the process. Don't break the contact. I'll take care of the rest." Saying this, Baihua Zhenren glanced at Bei Gonglian, Han Yinshi, and the others. The women understood and quietly left the area. Tang Chen noticed their flushed cheeks as they departed. Friend Tang, Baihua, not giving Tang Chen a chance to consider, said earnestly, while extracting the Mei Dao Yin Dan, clear your mind and hold fast to your Dao Heart. Master Baihua, what do you mean by that? Tang Chen sensed something amiss. He glanced at Yi Ruxue and noticed her own cheeks were slightly red, like the women who had just left, even her ears were flushed. You'll find out soon enough, Baihua started, but didn't elaborate. Instead, she conjured 2 cushions with her spiritual energy and placed them on the surface of Yaochi Lake. A gentle breeze pushed Tang Chen and Yi Ruxue onto the cushions. This shouldn't take long, we must stay true to our Dao hearts. Yi Ruxue looked intently at Tang Chen, taking a deep breath, seemingly steeling herself. Tang Chen was completely baffled. What were they getting into? Begin! Baihua called from the shore. Instantly, Tang Chen felt Yaochi churning violently. Mysterious force emanating from the lake enveloped him, bringing an ethereal sense of peace, as if he could touch everything on earth with a mere reach. Tang Chen quickly shook off the sensation and pressed his hands firmly against Yi Ruxue's soft hands. 1 second. 2 seconds. 3 seconds, nothing happened. Silence reigned. You said we should start. Tang Chen couldn't help but whisper. As the words left his lips, Tang Chen's brows furrowed. An unnatural impulse surged through his mind. The update is complete. Please take a rest after reading it. The excitement will continue tomorrow. Remember to give the following 3 comments, urging for updates, giving 10-star praise, and sharing. Chapter 67 Yaochi Sword Enlightenment. I underestimated Tang Xiaoyou. You are listening at novelfull.audio. This feeling was both familiar and strange. Familiar because it reminded Tang Chen of his past life, which he remembered vividly. Strange because it hadn't resurfaced since he arrived in this world. But now, here it was. It hit him suddenly and hard. Tang Chen felt his heart pounding, his head swimming. What's going on? He snapped his head up. He saw Yi Ruxue's skin glowing reddish under the moonlight, almost as if she was covered in snow. Even her spiritual power was tainted crimson, coloring the air around them. Her delicate hands were already damp with sweat. She was obviously fighting against her own will. On the shore of Yaochi, Yi Qingru watched this scene unfold. Her eyes widened as she stammered to Master Hua. Senior, what? Shyness made it impossible for her to finish the sentence. Well. Master Hua sighed, forcing a smile. Those with the Tianmei Dao body naturally possess the ability to charm all things. The Tianmei Dao Yin is the essence of that power, the very source of the allure. Once it's triggered, this is inevitable. So you're saying it's starting now? Yi Qingru's face tightened, and anger flashed in her eyes. Master Hua had kept quiet until now, only to offer an explanation when it was too late. Wasn't this just setting Tang Chen up? Sensing her frustration, Master Hua didn't fault her for questioning him. He said earnestly, humans possess reason. No matter how powerful the desire, it can be suppressed. He may not cross the line. And if he doesn't? Yi Qingru pressed. Then we avoid it. Master Hua said, his tone dead serious. Back in Yaochi, Tang Chen couldn't hear the conversation on the shore, but he had a pretty good idea of what was happening. He didn't even have time to be angry. Wave after wave of intense desire kept battering against his reason. Across from him, Yi Ruxue was on the verge of collapse. Her grip was loosening, her body swaying. She was clearly at her breaking point. Master Hua probably doesn't mean me any harm. He's unlikely to really hurt me. Even at its worst, this is probably just a matter of breaking the barrier between us. And the Guardian isn't showing any sign of intervening. Maybe I should just give in. But the thought died before it fully formed. He suddenly remembered an old story. Back in the day, young men going out to find a wife would often hire matchmakers to arrange the whole thing. If the groom couldn't make it back for the wedding, they'd find a rooster to stand in for him in the ceremony. Tang Chen felt like that rooster. If he gave in, his reputation would be solidified. The image of virtue he'd worked so hard to cultivate would be ruined. Nobody ever has a good time. This isn't about being a man or not, it's about dignity. Tang Chen gritted his teeth, his mind blank for a moment. Then, he summoned the black mysterious immortal sword, unleashing its boundless light. What's going on? Master Hua on the shore sensed the surge of sword energy. He stared, bewildered. He saw a peerless figure materialize above Yaochi. Dressed in white, a sword held firmly in his hand, eyes so sharp they seemed to pierce the heavens. The crimson spiritual energy surrounding Tang Chen and Yi Rushua was sliced away by the endless sword light. The entire lake seemed to transform into a sea of swords. Whoosh! 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 The 5 golden flowers sensed something amiss and rushed over. They were stunned by the sight of the figure in white, especially Mu Yushuang and Han Yunxi. As sword cultivators, they felt an almost irresistible urge to kneel and bow before him. The swords at their waists even seemed to hum in response. Tang Chen was still sitting there, Yi Rushua still clinging to his hands, but his face was serene, his expression solemn. His hair danced in the wind, surrounded by a whirlwind of swords. The 5 golden flowers and Master Hua couldn't help but be captivated. The dragon among men, the immortal among swords, it couldn't be described any other way. Sword, that's my uncle's sword. He's learning the sword. Yi Qingru trembled as she spoke, staring at the figure in white. Her words sent a ripple of shock through the others. Tang Chen was learning the sword. In this situation, Mu Yushuang and Han Yunxi recoiled, disbelief written on their faces. As sword cultivators, they knew how difficult it was to master the sword. Generally, you needed to clear your mind, focus completely on connecting with the sword, building a relationship bit by bit until you could understand it. They knew exactly what Tang Chen was going through. It was precisely why they stayed away. Just enduring such beauty and the force of the impulses was impressive enough, but Tang Chen was not only resisting, he was also using the moment to learn the sword. It was completely unbelievable. At that moment, Mu Yushuang and Han Yunxi's understanding was shattered. They realized they weren't qualified to be called sword geniuses. Compared to Tang Chen, they were just amateurs. Master Hua was deeply moved. The Tianmei Dao body can seduce everything, but it can't shake Tang Xiaoyou's path. I underestimated him. Chapter 68 The Selfishness of Baihua Zhenren, a person from the ancient times of Immortals. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Master Baihua had her own agenda. She'd hoped to use this situation to inextricably link Tang Chen and Yaochi Grotto. After all, Tang Chen was quite the catch. If she weren't past her prime, she'd consider seducing him herself. That's why Master Baihua had been so cagey, holding back the truth. But now, she realized she'd misjudged him. Tang Chen was a man of integrity, his resolve was unwavering, her petty schemes were useless. In fact, Master Baihua suspected Tang Chen had already figured out the Tianmei Daoyin pill's side effects. How else could he have suppressed those initial impulses the moment they surfaced? Young Tang knew my intentions weren't pure, but he never called me out, always saving face. If I'd met him back in the day, I would have married him in a heartbeat. Master Baihua sighed, genuinely moved. Subconsciously, she touched her smooth face, untouched by time and still alluring. Back in Yaochi, with the selfless sword heart doing its work, every desire was cleanly cut off. Tang Chen slowly opened his eyes. He gently opened Yi Rushua's mouth and placed the Tianmei Daoyin pill inside. As soon as it entered her system, the lingering weakness in her eyes vanished at an incredible rate. She opened her eyes, but there was no seductive look, no affection, only embarrassment, and if you looked closely, maybe a hint of disappointment, as if she were thinking, am I not attractive enough? This whole thing. The embarrassment and reluctance faded quickly. Just as Yi Rushua began to speak, Yaochi below erupted without warning. Whoosh! From the deepest part of the pool, a 9-colored light shot skyward. Inside the light, a figure sat in a meditative pose. An intensely powerful Taoist aura radiated from the figure. Spiritual energy surged around them, like a pot of oil thrown on a fire. Mysterious Taoist sounds echoed through the air. It was as if heaven and earth themselves were bowing down. Yi Rushua, Golden Flower, Yi Qingqing, and Master Baihua were all stunned. They sensed the aura of an immortal emanating from the figure. Was this person an actual god? Only Tang Chen remained composed. His dark eyes met the figure's gaze, and as he opened his palms, the Kunlun ancient mirror and the Kunlun fairy mountain key appeared, resonating powerfully with each other. May I ask who you are, senior? Yi Rushua asked, her voice trembling. the person before her was likely an immortal. Compared to an immortal, everything else was insignificant. It was hard for her to stay calm. The figure didn't answer but simply waved a hand. Yi Ruxue was instantly transported to the edge of Yaochi, unharmed. "Are you from Kunlun?" The figure finally spoke. As he did, the colorful light dispersed, revealing a middle-aged man. He looked ordinary, lacking any striking features, but his eyes were filled with wisdom. "You're mistaken, senior. I'm not from Kunlun," Tang Chen replied calmly. "Then why do you possess Kunlun artifacts and such strong luck?" The middle-aged man pressed. "It's all been chance," Tang Chen answered immediately. Ao Jiuxiao had found a Kunlun ancient mirror for him. He'd won the Kunlun Fairy Mountain key in a lucky draw. Both were just random occurrences. As for luck, Tang Chen immediately thought of his supreme luck perk. However, he didn't explain in detail, offering only a vague explanation. The middle-aged man studied Tang Chen intently, as if wanting to probe further. Finally, he sighed. "What era is this?" "The Age of Immortals." "How long since the Ancient Immortal Era?" "The Ancient Immortal Era was over 300,000 years ago." Tang Chen answered everything he asked. According to ancient texts, the Immortal Fall Era was the Sixth Age. Before that, there was Shigu, Huangu, Owangu, Immortal Ancient and Immortal Struggle for Hegemony. The Ancient Immortal Era had lasted for over 300,000 years, a very distant time. Except for a few chronological mentions, the others were lost to the vast river of history. "I see," the middle-aged man sighed again. His eyes grew dim, and his presence seemed to fade. Tang Chen realized that the person before him was just like Master Kunlun before, a remnant soul, but the difference was that Master Kunlun was driven by evil thoughts. This person seemed to be hiding in the Yaochi. "Senior, do you have any lingering desires?" Tang Chen took the initiative. Judging from his questions, the middle-aged man must have been from the Ancient Immortal Era, and most likely connected to the Kunlun Immortal Mountain, a remnant soul, surviving for hundreds of thousands of years. It couldn't be simple. "Does Kunlun still exist?" The middle-aged man didn't answer Tang Chen, continuing his questions. "It should still be there," Tang Chen replied, unsure. Kunlun Zhenren was from this era. He'd obtained the Kunlun Ancient Mirror from the Kunlun Fairy Mountain. Logically, the mountain had to still be around. "What about luck?" the middle-aged man asked again. Tang Chen paused. He didn't know much about luck. Besides the supreme luck he'd gotten from the gacha, he hadn't heard the word mentioned in months. "Kunlun moves, luck is destroyed, the sky collapses, the earth collapses. Immortals, the immortals fall." The middle-aged man's voice became fragmented. His words grew increasingly bizarre. Tang Chen was about to ask a question when the middle-aged man suddenly stared at him. "You have luck, you can save this, no evil can touch you, you might be the turning point." From the man's rambling, Tang Chen caught a single word, evil. Could all of this be related to evil spirits? Tang Chen frowned slightly, surprised. Over 300,000 years had passed since the Ancient Immortal Era. Back then, there was already evil. What had happened in between? But these were questions Tang Chen couldn't answer now. Suddenly, the middle-aged man's voice grew calm again. Can you go to Baihua Zhenren, to find?" The calm voice sounded fragmented. The middle-aged man's figure was like a wisp of fog, threatening to disappear at any moment. He couldn't finish his sentence. "You want me to go to Baihua Zhenren and look after your descendants?" Tang Chen hazarded a guess. The middle-aged man's eyes gleamed like a dying ember. He bowed slightly, paying his respects from afar. Finally, the middle-aged man vanished completely. The wisps of nine-colored light exploded, turning into countless particles and enveloping Tang Chen. Chapter 69, Pure Dao Heart, Another Ancestor is Born. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 69, Immaculate Dao, Another Ancestor is Born. Tang Chen felt the warmth of the sun enveloping him, a comforting embrace. Mysterious rhythm of the Dao washed over him, an extraordinary power surged through his body. The two forces intertwined intensely, culminating in an explosion within his dantian. Buzz. A magnificent palace materialized above Tang Chen's head. It was the Star Palace, the Wanfa Star Palace. Cultivators typically condense a spirit palace upon entering the Wanfa realm. Tang Chen, however, was different. Having comprehended all the laws of the world, he didn't form a spirit palace, but rather a star palace. As Tang Chen reached the Gi realm, the Star Palace transformed into the Wanfa Star Palace of today. The Wanfa Star Palace trembled violently, with a sharp crack. The colossal Star Palace shattered into countless specks of light. The previously multicolored lights blended perfectly, forming a dart-like orb of light. The orb spun rapidly, it became more distinct and tangible. Eventually, a faint, rhythmic pulse could be heard. Meanwhile, a remarkable phenomenon unfolded in the world outside. Yaochi Lingshan Mountain resonated with the sound of the great Tao. Spiritual light surged like a tide, and multicolored light rain cascaded from the rolling clouds. It was as if an immortal had descended to earth, prompting all creation to bow in reverence. Standing on the shore, Baihua Zhenren's expression changed dramatically. The Tao, he's condensing the Tao. Her words left the other women speechless. Beyond unity lay mastery. The Grand Master embodied all laws and the great Tao, with their Dantian nurturing the Tao. If the Tao remained unbroken, their faith in cultivation would be unwavering. The women's surprise wasn't about the Tao's condensation itself. With Tang Chen's talent, reaching the Grandmaster realm was inevitable. Their shock stemmed from the fact that Tang Chen was only at the 6th level of Gi, condensing the Tao at the Gi realm. It was unheard of. This Tao isn't ordinary, it's the immortal Tao. Just then, an ancient voice echoed from the depths of Yaochi Lingshan. A dark fissure opened there. A hunched old woman, clad in a purple and gold robe, emerged with faltering steps. She fixed her gaze on Tang Chen, unable to mask her astonishment. The immortal Tao, without self, without other, without anything, void of all things. The Tao is unshakable, impervious to destruction. It's the legendary ultimate Tao. That kid's lucky. To have an ancient immortal burn its remaining soul, precondensing the immortal Tao for him. That the women suddenly understood, the power that had struck Tang Chen was indeed from an immortal, one willing to sacrifice its essence to aid Tang Chen. Baihua Zhenren's surprise was even greater than the others. The old woman before her was practically the ancestral figure of Yaochi Cave Heaven. She had secluded herself for over 2 millennia, yet, she had broken her seclusion for Tang Chen. "What's that?" Yi Qingru suddenly asked. Following her gaze, a series of words appeared on the surface of the emerald-like Yaochi lake. The Tao's rhythm lingered around the words. As the words intersected, they radiated a mysterious aura. That's the Prajna scripture. The Jade Sword Sacred Method. The Jade Sword Sacred Method has been restored. Isn't that the long-lost Lingbo Void Crossing? It's been restored. The 5 golden flowers on Yerushua exclaimed almost simultaneously. Baihua Zhenren trembled with excitement. Yaochi was the foundation of Yaochi Cave Heaven. All martial arts and techniques originated from it. As Yaochi's fairy spirit dwindled, the Tao's rhythm in these martial arts and techniques had faded one by one. Many had been lost long ago. Now, these martial arts and techniques were being replenished. This signified that Yaochi's fairy spirit was being restored. Heaven bless Yaochi Cave Heaven. Baihua Zhenren was moved to tears. She had devoted countless efforts to slowing the dissipation of Yaochi's fairy spirit. Today, her efforts had paid off. You're mistaken, it's not heaven that blesses Yaochi Cave Heaven, but this junior. The old woman shook her head, looking at Tang Chen with gratitude. Finally, the Tao was complete. It was like the world's most perfect work of art, crystal clear and flawless, as if even dust dared not defile it. Tang Chen, who had been with his eyes closed, opened them slightly. He opened his mouth, and the Tao entered his dantian instantly. At that moment, all of Tang Chen's martial arts were organized one by one. Whether it was the method of cultivation or the trick of application, all of them underwent a qualitative leap. What surprised Tang Chen even more was that the Hongmeng Dao Ju he practiced had advanced to the 2nd level. The first level of Hongmeng Dao Ju allows me to endlessly absorb and release spiritual power, accelerating my cultivation at an unbelievable rate. The 2nd level allows me to absorb and release the energy of all things, not just spiritual power. Satisfaction filled Tang Chen's eyes. Condensing the immaculate Tao was already a pleasant surprise. Unexpectedly, the Hongmeng Dao Ju had broken through as well. It's worth noting that the Hongmeng Dao Ju was an 8-star technique. Each breakthrough would surely shock the world and terrify the heavens. Senior, please rest assured. Having received your gift, I will fulfill your last wish. A golden jade talisman appeared in Tang Chen's hand. The talisman radiated the power of the 5 elements. It was the talisman left by the middle-aged man. if all went well, it should be a token from the descendants of the man from Guangzhou. The power of the 5 elements is what will make the world seed resonate. So, providing enough power of the 5 elements will allow the world seed to take root and sprout. It seems I need to keep that in mind. Tang Chen filed this away. He hadn't cared before because he was too weak. Now that he had successfully condensed the Tao, he would soon enter the realm of the Grandmaster. He now had a firm footing in the East Wilderness. He could finally start making plans. As he pondered, Tang Chen flashed and landed gracefully on the shore of Yaochi. The astonishing celestial phenomenon faded away. Everyone looked at Tang Chen, feeling a sense of disbelief. His face was still incredibly handsome. His bearing was still extraordinary, but there was now a subtle sense of untainted purity. If Tang Chen was a fallen immortal before, that he had now returned to the immortal realm, an immortal appearance. Untouchable by anything. Tang Chen surveyed the stunned crowd. Just as he was about to speak, the old woman stepped forward and said earnestly, "What a pure Tao. Young man, if you join Yaochi Cave Heaven, you can have all the cultivation resources you want. I won't even bat an eye. If you don't mind, you can call me master. From now on, you'll be my close disciple." That her words stunned the women into even greater shock. Even Tang Chen was taken aback. This felt familiar. Why did it sound so familiar? The author said, "My waist hurts a bit. I need to rest. I'm old and useless." Chapter 70, The Red Dust Patriarch gave me the elixir. There is only one way. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Thank you for the offer, but I've already become a disciple, Tang Chen said directly. I know you're talented, but you can't serve 2 masters. I'll have to decline. The old woman frowned, a hint of amusement in her eyes. My name is Ancestor Hongchen, and I'm a big shot in Yaochi Cave Heaven. Do you even know who your master is, kid? My master is Patriarch Chunyang, Tang Chen replied calmly. Suddenly, Ancestor Hongchen's expression shifted. Her proud demeanor vanished. In terms of standing, Ancestor Hongchen and Ancestor Chunyang were equals, both important figures in their respective domains. But when it came to experience, Ancestor Hongchen was outmatched. Ancestor Chunyang had seen it all, across multiple eras. Compared to him, she was just getting started. Thinking of this, Ancestor Hongchen glared at Master Baihua, as if saying, "Why didn't you tell me sooner? You made me look like a fool." Master Baihua just offered a weak smile, not daring to respond. "Alright, what's your name, kid?" Ancestor Hongchen changed her tune smoothly, proving she was no dummy. "His name is Tang Chen," Master Baihua offered, eager to impress, but Ancestor Hongchen cut her off, face darkening. "Did I ask you?" Then, turning back to Tang Chen, her expression became friendly. "Young friend Tang." "It's Tang Chen," Tang Chen replied, annoyed. This felt familiar. "Young friend Tang, condensing the Wugo Dao Heart must have taken a toll on you. You'll stay here at Yaochi Lingshan and get some rest. Baihua, hurry and grab a Yaochi elixir. It's perfect for after a breakthrough, restores everything overnight." "Ancestor, is that really necessary?" Master Baihua asked, her heart sinking. The other disciples looked shocked. Yaochi elixir was rare, even in Yaochi Cave Heaven. They were reserved as rewards for those who had truly served Yaochi. "Are you kidding me?" Ancestor Hongchen thundered. She unleashed her saintly power, forcing Baihua and the others to kneel in fear. "You're unbelievably short-sighted," Ancestor Hongchen scolded. When Tang Xiaoyou condensed the Wugo Dao Heart, he channeled some of his immortal energy into our Yao pond, replenishing our losses. That's how the pond's power was restored. Young friend Tang did so much for Yaochi, and you begrudge him 1 elixir. You wound me. The words hit Master Baihua and the others like a truck. They stared at Tang Chen in disbelief. Tang Chen blinked. He helped Yaochi replenish their energy. Did he? He'd been focused on the Wumu Taoism the entire time. I think Ancestor Hongchen might be mistaken. Tang Chen started to explain, but Ancestor Hongchen interrupted him again. Young friend Tang, I've really embarrassed myself. As compensation, I'll give you another Yaochi elixir and have someone deliver it. Then I'll trouble you, Tang Chen said, seizing the moment. 2 elixirs. Too good to pass up. Night fell. The stars were faint, and the air was still. Tang Chen lay back in his bamboo chair, playing with the golden jade talisman. I thought the system would refresh with a new location, but nothing happened. So, the check-in locations must be totally random. Tang Chen had finally accepted it. He gave up on trying to trigger a refresh. If it was random, it was random. He couldn't force the issue. Just then, a fiery figure appeared. It was Yi Rushue. After taking the Tianmei Daoyin pill, she glowed with an alluring charm. Her eyes sparkled, captivating anyone who looked at her. Here. Yi Rushue handed Tang Chen 2 jade boxes. Even unopened, the rich fragrance of the elixir filled the air. Thanks. Tang Chen took them. He had refined 2 of the 7 mysterious sword elixirs already, and had swallowed 1. Now he had 6 elixirs total. He was pleased. They were great for healing and boosting his cultivation. Is something wrong? Tang Chen asked, seeing that Yi Rushue didn't leave. There's something I want to tell you, Yi Rushue said, her voice quiet. During the birth of the Kunlun secret treasure, there was a sudden surge of energy in Yaochi. During this time, Yaochi releases a divine radiance that allows someone to conceive and nurture a baby, which helps their cultivation. It's a once-in-a-lifetime thing, and it's extremely rare. Master thinks the Kunlun secret treasure is related to Kunlun Fairy Mountain, and she wants me to investigate. It's a good opportunity to try my luck. Nurture a baby? Tang Chen latched onto that. Yi Rushue's face flushed as she explained, because of my Tianmei Dao body, I'm already able to conceive and nurture, so I'm the best candidate. Tang Chen understood. For a woman, a baby was often a sensitive topic. No wonder Baihua hadn't mentioned it. It would be awkward to explain, and would give people the wrong idea and damage Yi Rushue's reputation. Everyone would think she was easy, not knowing that she was just affected by the Tianmei Dao body, and was not actually promiscuous. I gave you the Tianmei Dao Yin Dan to help you, not to lure you to Yaochi Lingshan and have you, you know. Yi Rushue stammered. She thought she could say all this easily, but facing Tang Chen, she felt nervous. A part of her even felt regret. In an attic, Baihua told Ancestor Hongchen everything about Tang Chen. As she spoke, Ancestor Hongchen's expression changed. Finally, her face twisted. She glared at Baihua like a demon. You missed out on such a rare genius. How could I have such a useless disciple? Baihua was a disciple of Hongchen's disciple. Xuanhuan came in person. What was I supposed to do? And Tang Chen is a born sword cultivator, so it makes sense he'd choose Xianjian. Baihua defended herself. Are you an idiot? Ancestor Hongchen snapped. What does Xuanhuan matter? Yaochi's resources are better than Xuanjian's. And so what if he's a natural sword cultivator? We have the sword saint method here. Tang Chen could specialize in swordsmanship here too. You're so stupid. Can't you see what we have to offer? We have over 10,000 female disciples. That's our advantage. No matter how much a man loves swords, can it compare to endless beauty? Chen Baihua had no response. She regretted her arrogance, and for not taking a more aggressive stance. Tang Chen's achievements are inevitable. One way or another, we need to get on his good side. It looks like there's only one way, Ancestor Hongchen said, her eyes turning thoughtful.